Hi guys, welcome to the channel. So this is probably it's my first video for YouTube really. So thank you for looking and watching the video. Hopefully I'll be sending out more and more videos as time goes on. So it's a little bit about me, kind of middle 30s, late 30s now. I'm 37, living in Wetherby, kind of Yorkshire. So kind of north of England, so the weather today is not particularly well. So I guess I've been inspired to start a YouTube channel really. It's something I'm passionate about, something I really enjoy, and cycling's kind of something I've done for around 3 or 4 years now. When I was younger, I used to do a lot of mountain biking. I absolutely loved that. But as you get older, married, kids, it's a lot harder to kind of go out for the day, and just disappear to a mountain bike trail and enjoy yourself. So I guess got married, had children, and then I guess COVID came. I had 2 young children, put on a bit of weight like we all do. Wasn't feeling particularly well, and it was my father-in-law actually, Paul, that got me into cycling, and I guess not been doing much in terms of fitness at that point, but there was just something about that, getting out on the road that I really enjoyed. So actually my first bike it's currently on my indoor trainer in the garage I use for Swift, and it was an hand-me-down off Paul, because obviously it was one of his kind of bikes that he didn't use anymore, and that's kind of the bike I use that got me into cycling. So I guess I used that for a year or so, and decided that I'm going to buy my own bike. So I've currently got the Trek Domane so I bought this a couple of years ago. It cost me around £2,000. It's the AL5, so it's got aluminium frame, carbon forks. Decent bike really, it's done me well. Shimano 105, mechanical. I've had a couple of little upgrades on there, so I've got Pirelli tyres on there, tubeless setup, front and back. Obviously Silka bag. So it's just an all-round bike, but I guess as you all know, you kind of outgrow your bikes. So I've been in the market now for about 6 months looking for a new bike. Obviously I wanted a lightweight kind of aero bike, but they, as you know, they're not particularly cheap. Got a young family, so trying to balance the dream bike versus reality can be quite difficult at times. But anyway, probably a couple of weeks ago now, took the Trek Domane down to my local bike store, so Chevin Cycles in Harrogate. Took it in, dropped it off, and got chatting to one of the sales guys in there, Jamie. Again, really helpful guy. We were having a look at the Trek Madone, and there was one in there. I think it was the SLR, and it was £8,000. Way out of my price budget. Absolute dream bike, but way out of my price budget. So obviously I went away. I kind of emailed him back and forth a few times around some other ideas and other bikes that I could have, looking at potentially maybe a bit of a custom build that coming within my budget. They're doing like some good deals really. So eventually, back and forth for about a week or so, I decided to go ahead and buy a new bike. So give me a second. Right guys, back, sorry to get the bike set up. So I've ended up going for this. So this is the Trek Madone SL6 Gen 8. So those of you that are familiar with the Trek bikes, this is the latest Trek Madone bike. It's the SL6 that comes with Ultegra, DIT Ultegra. Decent bike really. It's the first time I've had DI2, so I'm really looking forward to getting back, getting into this type of kind of group set, I guess. It comes with the Bontrager 35 airless wheels, absolutely stunning wheels. Again, tubeless setup. I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep the tan sidewalls. I'm thinking about upgrading the wheels, but whether I keep the tyres or not. I've also gone for the Trek Aero bottles, so that those of you that are familiar, these are they're not cheap. I think they're £90 per bottle, bottle and cage, sorry. So obviously it's carbon fibre cage and Aero bottle. So again, £180 worth of upgrades there. I know it's a lot of money, but I guess it's something that I'm passionate about. I spend my money on stuff that I guess I like. It'll keep me out of trouble. I've also upgraded the bar and stem. So again, the SL6 just comes with a normal separate bar and stem, but on this, again, it was my dream bike, so I wanted to get the integrated bar and stem. So again, this was a £600 part. The guys at Trek, so the guys at Chevron Cycles and Harrogate put this on for me. So obviously I ordered this bike, told them what I wanted, and they just went away and made it happen. So I couldn't have asked for an absolute sort of better service, really. They did well. I guess the bike in total is $4,250. The upgrades is about sort of £800 of upgrades, so it's part of a £5,000 bike, really. They did do a bit of an offer where you could trade in any bike and get a certain amount of money off it, a certain amount of money off the overall price. So in total, in terms of cash, it cost me about £4,300. But it is an absolutely stunning bike. Really looking forward to getting out on it in the summer. It's purely going to be used for my summer riding, really, hot weather. So it definitely won't be going out in the wet or cold days. So in terms of the Trek Domane, I am going to keep this. It's going to be my winter bike. I'll get some kind of mud guards on there, front and back, and I'd have it set up really as a solid winter bike. I've had it for about 2-3 years now, and it's done me well. I don't want to get rid of it. It's a solid bike. I've just had it serviced, so I'm still going to put it to good use. However, the summer bike will be my new pride and joy. Thanks for watching. First proper YouTube channel video that I've done. I guess I was inspired by a couple of people that I've been kind of watching, really. It's I guess the Trek Madone. It was a guy called Cycling with Russ that I kind of watched his videos. He got the bike, got it in black, kind of followed him, and then he must cycle with some other guys. I think it's Mike on Two Wheels and Cycle the Nation. I'm just kind of following those guys, really, and they've kind of inspired me to start my own journey and sharing it with those like-minded cyclists. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and hopefully see you soon.